Welcome back. We're going to do this final part 2 of our mini backpack tutorial. In this tutorial, we are going to make the flap, and we'll make the straps and the handle and finish up our project. And for our flap, we're going to connect it right here on that first row of single crochets on our rim. And we'll build that flap up so it comes up over the top and rests right about there. Now for the flap, you can use whichever color you'd like. For my flap, I'm going to continue with my main color, and I'm going to use this sage green. And when I'm finished with the flap, I like to do an optional element. I like to do a slip stitch edging all along my flap, just to make that edge really nice. And for that, I'm going to use the darker green. All right, let's get started with our flap. We're going to get started in this corner stitch right here, and it's in the first row of our rim. We'll work a front post slip stitch all the way to that other end. So I will show you how I do that. First, I'm going to place my hook under that front post of that first corner single crochet, and then we'll come over the top of that with a slip stitch. And we'll do that same thing in the next 19 stitches. You're going to want to make these slip stitches a little bit on the looser side because they're going to be the foundation for these single crochets that we're going to make for our flap. And another little quick tip, you can see that I'm weaving that tail back and forth as I'm going along, which saves me from having to weave that in later. Okay, so continue on with these stitches until you get to that last corner stitch, and then we'll move on to our first row of single crochets. Okay, I just wanted to take a second so you can see what it looks like. This will be our foundation for our single crochets in the next row. Okay, I'm finishing up my last foundation slip stitch right here. We've set ourselves up nicely to begin single crocheting in these foundation stitches. Each single crochet is going to be worked directly underneath the slip stitches. Okay, so let's chain one, and then we're going to turn. And now we'll do our first row of single crochets in each stitch across. So that's going to be 20 single crochets under each slip stitch. And then when we get to the end of this row, we're going to chain one and turn. And then let's go ahead and make a single crochet in each single crochet across. And this is going to be our repeat. We're going to do that for 20 rows, and then we'll come back and finish off our flap. So go ahead and single crochet until you reach 20 rows. That's including our foundation row, and then we'll come back and finish it off. Okay, so I've done my 20 rows of single crochets, and you can see what a nice flap this is making. We're going to come and round this out with these last 2 rows, and our flap will be finished. And I just want you to see the mechanics of this a little bit. You can see that how we joined this together with those front post slip stitches, it's very sturdy. And I think that this comes over nicely and hits in a nice spot on the front of our backpack. It's not going to hide our design, but at the same time, it'll keep it closed. So, okay, let's finish this up with our last 2 rows. We're going to start off with a single crochet decrease over these next 2 stitches. So go ahead and do a decrease. After that, you're going to do a single crochet in each of the next 16 stitches. And after that 16th stitch, we're going to work another single crochet decrease in those last 2 stitches. Chain one and turn. we're going to do another decrease, single crochet decrease over those first 2 stitches. And then we'll do a single crochet in each of the next 14 stitches. And a decrease over those last 2 stitches. And there we have it. We've rounded off our flap, and you just need to finish it off and weave in your end. Okay, so let's take a look at our handiwork here. You can see where that lays nicely over the front. And now we're just going to work on optional trim. You don't have to do it if you don't want to, but I just think it adds a nice little flare to the front of our backpack. Now we're going to start in this corner of our flap, and we're going to join our green with a slip stitch. And then we're going to slip stitch evenly around that edge and make a nice little green edging to finish off our flap. And you'll notice that I'm using that weaving technique with that tail again, just so that I don't have to do that cleanup later. So go ahead and slip stitch evenly all along your flap, and then we'll come back and begin making our straps and handle. Okay, our flap is done. Look how cute that is. And it closes it really nicely so you don't have to worry about contents falling out and things like that. And the construction of this is very solid. You're not going to have to worry about it unraveling or anything like that, since this is a no-sew project. Okay, so now we're going to begin working on the strap portion of our project. This is going to be made in one single piece, essentially. We're going to work our way from the bottom up to the handle and then back down on the strap again. This strap is not a wide strap. It's only 4 single crochets wide. So even though we are working these in lots and lots of rows, it won't take you that long to finish these. And I think this is a pretty unique way to attach straps to a bag. And we're going to work these in each of the corners, so I'm just going to mark this corner so that I know where I need to attach my strap when I get there. Okay, and I'm ready to begin in my first corner. I'm going to attach that with a slip stitch. You can attach it however you'd like. Really, we just need to get those foundation slip stitches going so that we can begin single crocheting our strap. So go ahead and slip stitch in that corner stitch. And then we're going to make 3 more slip stitches so that we have our 4 slip stitch foundation for our first row of single crochets. Okay, I have my slip stitch foundation, and I'm going to chain 1 and turn. And we're going to do a single crochet in each of those foundation stitches. So that's going to be 4 single crochets in our first row of single crochets. Then we're going to chain 1 and turn. And we're going to do the same thing. We're going to put a single crochet in each of those single crochets. So 4 single crochets. And that's going to be our repeat for the next 71 rows. You're going to want to end on an odd number. So make sure that however many rows you need, because this is adjustable, you just have to measure what size strap you need as we go along, but make sure that you end on an odd number for this strap. So continue on until you have the desired length. I went to 71, and then we'll meet back here and I'll show you how I formed the handle. Okie dokie, I'm back and I have made my first strap. You can see about how long mine is. And again, I went to 71 rows, but you can end however you want. And this is a good time for you to test the length of your strap and what your needs are. And again, just make sure that you end on an odd number. We're going to join in the center of our backpack right there, right at the base of our flap. Okay, so to attach our flap, we're going to do that same technique where we're going to go through the single crochet, the last single crochet that we did, and then we're going to attach it with a slip stitch to that front post of that single crochet in the center of our backpack. You can see that I am drawing that through both stitches so that we can secure that tightly, and you're going to do that with each stitch as we go along. Also, make sure that these slip stitches again are a little bit loose because these are going to be the foundation stitches for when we begin working that handle with more single crochets. Okay, I've secured that to just below my flap, and then we're going to chain one, and then we're going to turn, and we're going to start working on our handle. It's going to be worked exactly the same way as we did the first strap. We're going to chain one and turn, and we'll put one single crochet in each of those stitches, those foundation stitches, and we'll do 21 rows of single crochets. So go ahead and do your 21 rows. That's including the foundation row. Do your 21 rows of single crochets, and then we'll come back and then we'll finish our second strap. Okay, so now I'm finishing up my 21st row. And then we're going to attach our handle to the top of our backpack right next to where we attached our first strap. And this can look a little bit tricky, but basically you just need to make sure that you don't twist it and that you bring one corner down next to the other corner. So I'll show you what I mean by that. See, there's a corner here. You bring that corner down right there. And we're going to connect it with that front post slip stitch technique we've been using. So pull your handle up straight, make sure there's no twist in it, bring that corner down, and we'll start attaching it to our rim. Now I'm just going to hold the handle in place as I rotate it and get ready to attach. Joining, and we will start attaching with that front post slip stitch technique we've been using. And again, you want to make these stitches a little bit on the looser side, just so they make a nice foundation for our next single crochet row. And that next single crochet row is going to begin our second strap. Okay, and now that we've finished up our foundation stitches, we are going to begin our second strap. You can see how nicely that handle turned out, and it's going to be very, very secure just by the way that we've been attaching it to the backpack. So go ahead and start your first row of single crochets for our second strap, and we're going to make this the exact same length as our first strap. You're going to want to make a single crochet in each of the stitches, so that's going to be 4 single crochets in each row, and we're going to do 71 rows of single crochets. So I'm just going to let you go ahead and make your 71 rows, and then we're going to come back and finish off by attaching it to that bottom corner, and we'll have one more thing to do and our project will be done. Okay, so I've finished up my 71st row, and we're going to attach right here to these 4 stitches in this other corner. I'm just going to run my fingers down along this strap just to make sure there's no twist in it. That would just be a terrible thing to have happen after all our hard work. And I'm going to count 4 stitches out from that corner, and I'm going to attach right in that 4th stitch. And we want to do that same technique where we are going through that last single crochet of our strap and the 4th stitch from the corner, both at the same time. So go through that last single crochet and then that 4th stitch from the corner, and then draw that slip stitch through. And then keep going for each of those 4 stitches. And after we're done with that, we are going to fasten off and weave in our ends. And after that, we'll work on a drawstring that we can weave through those holes that we have in our rim. And then you will be rocking a fabulous retro spiral mini backpack. Okay, I've woven in that last end and you can see these beautiful little straps that we've made. And now that we're finished with that part, we can move on to our drawstring and we will be done with our project. For the drawstring, I kept it very simple and we're just gonna chain 130. I left a tail of about 2 inches on each end and then I tied a knot at each end as well. You can finish it off however you'd like, but that's what I decided to do. So go ahead and finish that and we'll weave it through those holes in our rim, and then we get to take a look at our finished project. Okay, and now that our drawstring is done, we can finish it off by weaving it through each of the holes in the rim of our backpack. And we finished it. Look at how adorable that is. Oh my gosh, I just love this project. You can use it for a small purse. You can give it away as a gift. It's just tons of fun. Now again, I have the pattern linked in the description of this video. I would love to hear from you if you make this. Also, as always, please like, share, and subscribe to help me with that algorithm. And then I'll be back later with more fun projects. I actually have something in mind that I want to start up next. So anyways, thanks a lot for watching, friends. Take care and have a great week.